how to take inspired action with a specific person and manifesting your love life. How do we do this exactly? That's what today's video is all about, and I am filming in the lovely little medieval town of Sighișoara in Romania. I'm so happy to be here with you today, and I'm going to help you understand how to take inspired action, because this may be a source of confusion because you may have heard that you're supposed to take no action. But then other people say, well, you're supposed to take inspired action. So what on earth are you supposed to do? And I know you want to do the right thing because you want to actually manifest this person or just a love relationship. Or you could apply this to manifesting money, like inspired action. What on earth is that? And how do I do this? If you are new to my channel, check out my other videos. Learn more about me at dreamlifebyveronica.com. Subscribe. It would mean the world to me. If you find you like these videos, I have over 700, climbing with every single week I release new content. So let's talk about inspired action. It sounds really complicated. It sounds like confusing. Like, what are you supposed to do? How do you know which action is inspired? Well, when you set an intention, when you decide you want something, for example, you want to romantically be with this specific person. You have decided on this. You have maybe said some affirmations about this. You've had the urge in your heart that you want this. That's setting an intention. That's, setting forth the desire that you have been like, I want this in my future. This is something that I desire. So you've claimed it. The cool thing is that when you first decided, you had that urge in your heart that this is something that you wanted. From that moment forward, after that urge, after that, that drive in that direction, I want this. I have decided that, I can imagine myself with this. This is something that I desire. This is something I want. From this moment forward, all of the action that you take is going to be inspired with that desire. So inspired action is not something that you wonder whether or not you should take. It is something that you are naturally doing. It's something that's naturally flowing to you as an extension from this urge inside of you. I desire to have this. So your job is going to be less on trying to figure out which actions to take, and more so on getting into that feeling of having that desire, that love energy inside of you to connect with the experience that you want. So in terms of allowing yourself to have inspired action towards a specific person, you need only connect with the feeling of having that relationship, of having yourself be loved by this specific person, and suddenly all of your action is going to be inspired. So instead of wondering which actions to take, you're going to spend more time getting in touch with that feeling of having the result of being with this person. That is how you take inspired action. And I know that sounds weird because it almost sounds like you're supposed to physically do something. So how do we get in touch with that feeling of having something? Well, we become very mindful about every single time this relationship, this person comes to mind. We take a very good look, a very good assessment as to how we think about it, how we feel about it, what other sorts of thoughts and emotions arise related to this relationship, related to this person. That is how we understand how we feel about it, how we understand how we are manifesting it. So if you want to manifest this love relationship and you want inspired action to happen, to naturally flow from you, you are going to tap into this feeling of how lovely and how simple and how easy it would be to just be able to relax with this person, to know that you had the security of being in this relationship, to know that you had the security of being loved, to know that you had the simple pleasure of waking up next to this person every single morning. So those lovely, beautiful visions, those feelings, those sort of like the energy that is associated with this experience. Connecting with that is going to then naturally, instinctually, every action you take is going to be inspired. And the interesting thing about inspired action is that every action we are taking is inspired with the kind of life we are manifesting. So whatever we are focusing on all day long, our actions are naturally in sync and in harmony with the realization of that outcome. And so many of these actions are seemingly unrelated, and that's why you shouldn't try to understand what actions you're supposed to take. Instead, try to understand more how you can tap into this feeling of having, of receiving, of allowing, of being, of becoming. So I am the result. I am the person who is loved. I am the person who is loved by the person who I choose to love. I easily receive mutual love. I am someone who is loved. I am someone who is thankful for having that love. You can say these things, you can imagine them from a heart perspective, from a soul perspective. Any of these things work. Being mindful of just your assumption about what is possible regarding this relationship. So it almost sounds like you were doing nothing in terms of taking action, but you are actually doing everything, because the more you can tap into this feeling of having, the more your actions will naturally be associated with this of having. With that of having, rather. It's interesting because we're like magnetic. When you decide on, I can have something, I experience this, I feel this, I am this, you're going to naturally be drawn magnetically to physical actions that will draw this closer to you. You will meet the right people, you will be near the right situations, you will somehow talk to this person who will somehow help in attracting this love relationship. I'm using a specific person as an example, but this could be used for anything, any desire. You will suddenly see things in a new way once you focus more on having something. Like, all of your action will be inspired in that direction, because you will see things in new ways. You will feel different. You will feel more confident about this love relationship. You will feel more energetic. You will come into contact with, lovely experiences and opportunities, and it will relate to attracting this love, this beautiful lifestyle that you want to have, this beautiful relationship. Now, inspired action is never something you wonder whether or not you're supposed to do. So if you are saying to yourself, I feel so in touch with being loved by this person, I think I should contact them to move things along. Please don't. Please don't. It will not work, because you're not magnetically attracting something to you in doing this. In reaching out, you are saying, this is never going to happen unless I reach out. So you're not allowing something to magnetically come to you. And in reaching out, the only thing that will probably magnetically come to you is this realization that you feel like you're far away. So if you reach out, you will not get the results that you had intended upon, because the results that you are manifesting have to come to you. If you really are in touch with this feeling of having something, then you know that you do not have to lift a finger in a way that forces you to contemplate action. You won't have to lift a finger. Whatever inspired action you do, you will naturally just be drawn to. It won't even be something you contemplate. It won't even be something that you wonder whether or not you should do. It will just be something that you've already done, that you realize in hindsight later was actually inspired action. And that is how it works. You will never pre-orchestrate action to bring about a desire. You will always push it away from you if you do this. So it's real simple. I want you to spend more of your time tapping into this feeling of having something, as opposed to wondering whether or not you can take action that is so-called inspired. The only true inspired action you will ever take will be action that happens naturally, it happens flowingly, it will happen so brilliantly. You won't even realize it was inspired action. Again, once we feel like we have something, all action is inspired. All action is inspired to bring about the realization of that event. So instead of wondering whether or not you should physically do something, tap more into the feeling of, how can I get more abundant about this experience? How can I understand more about how I can feel gratitude for the realization of this experience? How can I more mindfully approach this experience? How can I keep this as simple as possible? And then that inspired action will just flow. It will flow without you even realizing it. You will be with your desire. You will be with your specific person. You will have your relationship. And you will realize that it was a chain of events that brought you there. That was inspired action that you didn't even realize you were doing. And how amazing, miraculous, beautiful, brilliant, and how it just came to you like a magnet. It just attached itself to you so easily. So let it flow. Okay. Sighișoara, Romania, thank you to this wonderful town. I am so happy to be here, the most well-preserved medieval town in all of Europe. I feel so blessed to be here today. DreamLifeByVeronica.com is where you can learn more about me, do my self-study programs. Subscribe on your way out. Leave me a comment below. I'm happy to help. Have an amazing day. May all your dreams come true.